The office today. Let's see what we got here. And for all of you that are patiently waiting, I apologize, but it has been crazy, and I'm kind of accustomed to like one or two people a day reaching out to me, and it has been fairly overwhelming. But I'm doing my best. This Sunday, 8:30 EST, I am going to attempt to get through as much of my backlog as possible on live stream, which is always fun because I still have no idea how to use that live streaming software, and I just end up cursing a lot trying to figure things out and just hanging out with everybody. So if you're around, check that out. Let's see. Good, insert relevant time of day here. I honestly don't remember when they messaged me. It was probably the morning. Who knows? I found your roster reviews on Reddit. Thought it sounded like fun. I first started playing Star Wars Galaxy Hero 6 months before CLS was first released, so very early on. It was first released and played consistently around the time of RGT and Chimera release. Chimera, so not that far after. I guess a little further after. After that, I ended up stopping for around 5 years. I returned to the game about 6 months ago, found it in a very different place. Yes, we've seen epic confrontations since then. We've seen TB changes. We've seen Galactic Legends. I've since become accustomed to the current state of the game, but I still struggle with how overwhelming the farms can be now that they're almost all available 100% of the time. There's his Dachi G, which I did pull up over here. Top 20 of my fleet are 8 Leviathan, 6 Profundity, and 6 Executors. So I'm assuming that this is, with 1720 being its, I'm assuming that this is an older shard with the Leviathans, but it's actually very surprising that there's only 8 of them, so it must be a semi-inactive shard. My assault battles are not good. 3 of 7 are at CT1 and nothing more. Oh, okay, we're going to have some fun today. I'm currently working on the ult tier of GL Ray's event, as well as finishing your Zetas, and daily sims are for Zori, Ig-88 ship, Arc Trooper, Shock T, and B1. I'm also working on getting my Padme team, Snips 3PO, GK, JKA, G up to relic levels, as I just recently reached 4 million and want to start earning the Proving Grounds characters. Padme can definitely do a few of them. I know there's a guide on Reddit for non-GL teams being able to do things. It's not one of my posts. I don't remember who posted it, but I have referenced it multiple times just by Googling non-GL Proving Grounds Reddit, and it always comes up at the top. Okay, I think that we're pretty good. Doesn't really spend, just the LSBs. All right, let's see what we got here. About a 4 million account. Ooh, what did I just click on? Something. Got about a 4 million account. They're farming Ig ship, so definitely don't have Executor yet, but they're probably looking towards it. 118. They have Ray. Okay. I hate Ray as a first GL. I really hate her. She was my first, but the game was very different. And I say this literally every video. I need like a button, one of those staples buttons. And I understand the Lightspeed bundles kind of change things. And I'm hoping that I see in the future, before those return, I see some more people that kind of fell in between that time. All right, let's check out what we got. Bounty Hunters. Check the most common bounty hunters. All right, so this is definitely one of the CT1s, is Rebel Roundup. I think this team could honestly probably do CT2, but it's going to be a modding issue. Is it worth remodding constantly and trying over and over and over again? That's really up to you. But I definitely think that there is some potential for this. I did CT2 before my Imperial Troopers with a similar team, with really just the old troopers, so like Django instead of Grief, and Greedo instead of the Mandalorian. So this team is probably a little bit easier. All right, let's see. So that's one of the CT3s. I see a Commander Luke Skywalker here. 1, 2, 3. This is probably the other CT1 that we have. And quite honestly, this team can probably do CT2. Again, it comes down to a modding issue. My first time doing CT2 was before Chupio was released, and the only relic I had was a relic to R2D2. Um, so Commander Luke Skywalker, R2D2, C3PO, Raid Han, and Chewbacca. And I think Raid Han was like G9. It did take a lot of retries to get it the first time, but I did get it in 3 stars. But this was, again, it was before simming was a thing. So I had to do it every month, and it was a pain in the ass. Now I'd recommend trying it just because you'd only have to get it once. All right, let's see if we can go 3 for 3 on this. Gonna say probably Sith. Places of Power. Places of Power is maybe. Let's check out the Jedi and see. It's either Places of Power or Ground War. It doesn't really matter that much which one. I was just kind of curious. So let's check out. No. Executor. So we have Xanadu. Where's my Razor Crest at? Oh, okay. None. TIE Bomber. No. All right. Well, this is gonna be interesting. He's probably going for MILF then. Oh, there it is. It's under this stupid ad. Houndstooth should be advanced. TIE Advanced is. Slave 1 is TIE Fighter. TIE Fighter, no, that's the other one. Imperial TIE Fighter is seriously nothing on that Razor Crest. Damn. Okay. And IG 2000. All right, so IG 2000 is 6 stars. I would say just do the five battles per day on IG 2000. Get that done as you need to. The Millennium Falcon will always be around for you. It's not like it's a limited event anymore. Let me just double check that bomber again. I don't remember it. Yeah, and TIE Bomber's not out yet. Okay, let's take a quick look over here before I make any decisions. Kylo, ooh, okay, let's go back to this. Finalizer's at 4 stars, so we have been doing the Finalizer event. Okay. And let's take a look. As I press all the pretty buttons. Ooh, man. Feeling foggy. 148, 2.9. Okay. Definitely, first and foremost, I don't know if you're, an officer. No, you're not. I definitely try to find another guild. Especially in the early game, you really don't want to be above the average galactic power in your guild. If you are, 3 million, you're 4 million, so you're about 25 to 30% above your guild. That more than likely means that you can find something that is much better suited for you. But I'm not going to harp on that because everybody has their own reasons to play in certain guilds. And, after having Rey with ult, and SLKR, you might find yourself in a position to move again. Earlier guilds are more accustomed to people leaving and changing around, just because that's the nature of the game. All right, Jedi Master Luke, Sith Empire, Jedi Master. Just kind of getting a feel for where we are for each of these farms. Okay. And let's just take a look at our profile, or not our profile, our collection really quick. Just gonna type in some randoms and see. No, okay. Padme, we do have. Who Who else do I want to see? Revan, we have the one. Let's see what Old Republic looks like. You know, I used to really, really fucking hate laptops, and here I am, mastering the laptop. It'd be cool to have a touch screen, and I could be all like enhanced, but whatever. Let's check out those Sith again. And then the other thing I wanted to see is where we are here. Alright, we got Wampa. Do we have Hermit? We do have Hermit. Just take a quick look at what he said again. Ig, Arc Trooper, Shakti, B1. Up to relics. And 21, I want to chase gas or Jedi. Luke Skywalker. I'm interested in finding an efficient route to reach these goals. I'm rarely into spending money. Let's just see what the 501st looks like. Okay, so really just Arc Trooper. Okay, that's not too bad. You know, a few people have commented that my audio starts to dip a little bit sometimes, and I bought myself a mic. I'm at work right now, so I don't have the mic with me, and I haven't been able to test it out yet, but coming to realize that sometimes I just mumble when it's something that I'm saying to myself, which is kind of silly because everything that I'm saying is to myself when I'm not live, and I'm just kind of recording these things in advance, so maybe I should have saved the money, but it's alright. It looks cool. It's got fancy lights, and I did test it, and it looked nice. Okay, so we got Rey. We're going for Rey's Ultimate right now. Awesome, so we're almost there. I highly recommend. A lot of people have been skipping Rey or SLKR. They've been buying both Lightspeed bundles and then kind of like picking one or the other. I think that's a silly way to go. You spent the $10, you're really close, you have Finalizer, you should definitely be going for SLKR next, right? Just because you're there. At your level, no, any GL is a good GL. And the other related fact here is, even though it sucks and you're going to have to do it manually every month, SLKR can do CT3 in places of power. So that's going to significantly help you in terms of your ROI on your account for Kyrotech, for relic material, and it kind of just compounds, right, for a really, really great character. Again, not somebody I normally recommend early, but we've been seeing a lot of these Lightspeed bundle accounts. 100% you should be kind of putting some focus there. Now, because you are most definitely in a Zeta deficit with 2 Lightspeed bundles, and I hear this all the time, I would not refresh the Finalizer event, and I just let that kind of naturally happen over time. It's going to ease you out a little bit, and you're really in no rush to get him. But the important thing is we want to get you the ROI on some of these other teams, because we want to start seeing, you know, some Zeta input. Let me actually just check 2 more characters that I didn't pay attention to. Good. Mother Talzin and Wicket. All right. For anyone wondering, the reason I check those 2 characters is once they're 7 stars, you get that bonus event from their events, and you get 2 Zetas every time it comes around. They're unreliable. I don't think they come around every month, but it's just nice to have them for very, very little investment. Let's see, Imperial Troopers. Okay, so one thing I really strongly consider if we're talking not necessarily about an early account, but we're talking about you have so much going on, I would really strongly consider putting some time into your Imperial Troopers in the shorter term. Not because they're amazing. They are on offense for like GAC and other things, but really because this is another route in which you can find that ROI for Zetas, Kyrotech for finishers going from G12 to G13, as well as, as well as the relic materials. I would 100% be farming Piet, right? Depending on your crystal income, which is really not high right now, I would say just slow farm Piet. Okay, I would 100% be finishing off Veers. I would be bringing Stark up to 85. That's your core. Veers, Stark, Piet, 85. You can keep them at G12 for now. All right, you're not going to get the full CT3 with that, but you can keep them there for now. I have been hearing that Imperial Super Commando and Gar Saxon with the new changes, they can really help you push ahead. I'm not going to say that's unconfirmed. It's definitely confirmed, but I don't know too much about it, and I don't know if it's effective both of the in both of the battles. So what I'm going to say is Piet Veer Stark. I like Range Trooper. Go for Range Trooper. Again, just 5 battles a day. Get him to 85. Get him to G12. And then from there, you can kind of make a couple different choices. Snow Trooper is the really cheap choice because you can bring him to G12 and be fine. No Kyrotech investment. Dark Trooper is the better choice long term in terms of strength, but he's also a Kyrohog, so he's very expensive to build. I, for your purpose right now, would say go for Snow Trooper, right? So Veers, Piet, Stark, Snow Trooper, and Range Trooper. If you bring all of those guys to G12, you bring them all to level 85, not super high investment. Yes, you're going to have to put some Zetas on. If you give them mediocre mods, you're going to see at the very least, the CT1 in, Jesus. You're going to see at least a GT1 in Forest Moon. You already have the one in Rebel Roundup. You're probably going to see a CT2, maybe CT3 in Forest Moon. And it's possible you'll see a CT2 in Rebel Roundup. Because all the gear you're going to need is already doubled right now, it's really not a big ask to do those things, right? So we kind of want to focus on that material ROI right now. The nice thing with Piet, Veers, and Stark is that they're going to be useful for Executor as well as C. Both really nice early term investments. With that said, as that being your short term, right? Ray Ol into SLKR, farming Ig 2000, Piet Veers Stark, where is it? Range Trooper, Stormtrooper, not Stormtrooper, Snow Trooper. I highly recommend you be focusing on Executor and getting Razor Crest, as well as getting Bomber. Now, Bomber is going to take you 6 months, right? Because you do not have it at all. TIE Bomber. Imperial, whatever they freaking call it. I would recommend refreshing that once a day to bring it down to 3 months, while also getting Razor Crest shards literally every time that it comes around in fleet shipments. I wouldn't spend crystals on it right now because you're going to also hopefully be able to do that improving grounds in the short term, and you have to worry about those other ships that are going to take you some time anyway. One of the big reasons that Executor is going to be huge for you on your account is you have an old shard, and it only has 8 Leviathans and 6 Profundities. That tells me that by the time you have Executor, hopefully you should be able to push into the top 10 without too much trouble. It also tells me that when the meta shifts, you're not going to see a huge contingent of players going for whatever that next ship is, right? Your primary focus right now is getting into the top 20, then getting into the top 10 of your fleet, because that's where you're going to see fleet crystals. Once you start getting into farming towards Executor and getting a little bit stronger there, and Piet's going to help there too because you need him at R8, reach out to your fleet Discord, reach out to the members of your fleet arena, see if there is a Discord available where people are communicating and cooperating. Be nice about it. Most people are awesome. They'll let you in. They'll help you out. Because it's an old shard, there's probably plenty of slots available. I do have a video that can walk you through that as well. It takes like 4 or 5 minutes to watch. I highly recommend it. It's going to jumpstart your game in terms of your crystal income, and it's going to help you in GAC, being able to compete at a little bit of a higher level, right? So right now we're going Ray, SKR, 100% start the Executor grind right now with Piet, definitely, and start working towards that, right? Now, normally I suggest C as the next big thing to tackle, especially because you're already bringing up Piet and because you're going to want Veers and Stark at around G12 anyway. C, you need him at R3, so you kind of like build off of that. But just based off of your notes and saying you're kind of wondering gas or Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, it tells me that you're kind of interested in that path, and it's not necessarily a wrong path. So at that point, when you start diverting your energy after SLKR, I would start working towards Jedi Knight Luke and Jedi Master Luke. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, military might, that's going to give you CT3 with building Chupio. Number two, having Jedi Knight Luke and Jedi Master Luke, and just kind of based off of maybe a little bit more investment in your Jedi outside of what you currently have, you'll also be doing Ground War at CT3. Absolutely zero speed mods on Jedi Knight Luke. Have him be the leader. Pump up your Hermit Yoda as high as you can on speed. Finish every phase using the call to action so that Jedi Knight Luke starts the next round. It might take a couple tries to get the timings right, but you'll have that in pretty short order, right? So we're going right, SLKR, start the Executor grind preferably around now, because TIE Bomber is going to take you a while. Refresh that one time per day to bring it from 6 months to 3 months. You don't need to refresh IG 2000. Focus short term on those Imperial Troopers to G12. The only one that I suggested that has Kyrotech investment is Piet, but you're going to need Piet for Executor anyway, so it's really not a big deal, and that's kind of why I suggest those ones. It doesn't make the best Imperial Trooper team, but it makes a cheap one that's going to kind of build you towards your goals, right? After you have JMLS, after you start to kind of like get to like Jedi Knight Luke level, that's where you might want to start thinking about gas. And I know that you are working on ARC Troopers, so you'll have the 501st, so you kind of have his team readily available to you. Let's see these Separatists, right? And you, General Grievous, I mean, you're going to need... you're going to need some investment in these guys like B1, Droideka, in order to get gas anyway. And because you're going to be in an extreme Zeta deficit, I don't think it's a super priority, but he is a great character. The one thing that I did forget about when talking about Jedi Master Luke is that he is literally the OG king of Conquest, right? So if you want to, as a 4+ million account, really start to build shards to whatever the newest Conquest unit is, regardless of if you get them right away, you probably won't, but you'll have less proving grounds to do later on, then Jedi Master Luke is, I mean, he helps complete so many feats just because of the way that he can call lightspeed characters to battle, and with Voluntary Vanguard being so prevalent in Conquest, it kind of allows you to have that shield for him at all times. The one thing I want you to be wary of is you definitely want Watt, right? I'm not saying that as a short-term project, but what I am saying is that in terms of being in a guild right now and finding a new guild and finding a guild that's a little bit higher, you want to find a guild that's still doing Darkside Geonosis, and you want to find a guild that's doing a pretty decent amount of shards of it, so that you can get that in short term, and so that you can move on once you've completed these projects into a guild doing Rise of the Empire consistently, right? You don't want to be spending your Get 3 or whatever you spend on for him down the line. So if you can do that during this time, it's something that you're not going to have to worry about. All right, so once again, finish your array. That's easy. Obviously, brain dead. That's not why you contacted me. SLKR, 100%. You're already super close to it. Get started on the Executor route. It's important for you. Go Jedi Master Luke, right? At that point, I mean, someone had asked me about my timelines yesterday, and I kind of told them, hey, I'm looking at a sheet of paper where I'm jotting down quick things, and I'm kind of making a guess. Just based on my own account, based on younger accounts, based on just kind of accepted values. That guess isn't something to like hold as law, but just to give you an idea. When I say all of these things, I'm thinking 5 to 6 months. And that 5 to 6 months, the game could significantly change, and what to do next after that might be completely different. So I would recommend focusing on that, and then as you start to get towards the middle or end of JML, and as you're starting to build gas, that's when you might want to reassess, hey, what's my next step after that? All right. So I'll hit you up on Discord with this. If you have any questions, 100%. We'll go back and forth. We'll figure out the plan that works best for you. One thing that I do want to point out to everybody, I don't know what day I'm going to make this video public, and I'm noticing, again, like a dumbass, I didn't put this on top, whatever, we're already at the end, who cares? But I just released a video, Tails off of the Hollow Table with this guy, David. He's a statistician. Awesome. And we disproved so many of the issues, the mathematical issues within the game. And, you know, if there's anything that I'm passionate about right now, it's just making sure that the information is correct and verifiable versus a lot of the conspiracy theories that we see in game. So in terms of what I'm proud of most, that right there. So if you're watching this and you made it all the way to the end and you're like, man, what do I watch next? This guy can talk. He's got the voice of an angel. Yeah, fucking right? Go check that one out. Share it with your guilds. I think out of all of the Tales episodes I've done, I don't want to say it's the best, the worst, but I do want to say it's the one that I feel is the tightest, even though it's the longest, and that I think that I'm the happiest with. Mahalo.